Should Western Union be scared of Libra? Hi, I'm Craig and welcome to Market Power, where we look at the power of markets and economics to shape our world. And in a previous video, I talked about Libra and where it's going to be popular. And the two theories I came up with are places that have high inflation or have lots of remittances. That is, people who live abroad and then send money home. And the data that I used for looking at that to identify some of the countries came from the World Bank. But that was just who uses a lot of remittances as a share of their GDP. One of the things I was interested in was how expensive it is to send money abroad. And so the way I decided to look at that is to actually go to Western Union. Western Union is one of the largest, if not the largest, money transfer services in the world. The nice thing about Western Union is that if you go to their website, they have a price estimator. So what you can do is plug in the amount of money that you want to send to a given country, and it'll tell you the fees that you are going to be expected to pay. And this was really interesting to me to try out. So they had about 233 or more countries that they send money to. And I was interested in getting a few different amounts because I know that the fee is going to be based on how large of a transfer you're making. So between that's about a good 700 data points that I would need to get. I wanted 3 different fees, 233 countries. That's 700 data points that I need to get. And that was a lot of time for me to be able to go in and collect that data if I were to do it myself. But then I remembered that this is an economics channel. I'm not gonna go collect that myself. I'm just gonna go hire somebody to go get it. So I went on Upwork.com. I found somebody in the Philippines, of all places, who was willing to go and collect this data for me. The 3 transfer amounts that I asked them to collect were a little bit arbitrary, but they had a reasoning behind them. First was $20. $20 is like a birthday present, right? Like, I was really excited when I got a $20 bill as a birthday present. In fact, sometimes I'm still excited if that's what I get in the mail. And so in the US, if you want to send $20 to somebody else, that's the cost of like a postage stamp, right? That's it's like on the order of 50 cents right now. And so that's a pretty cheap way to transfer money. You could do it electronically, the fees for that are low too, but that gave me kind of an idea where if I want to send somebody birthday money, it's not that expensive. Well, what if I had a family member living in another country and I want to send them birthday money? How much is that going to cost me? I then chose $100 because that seemed like a nice round number, something that people might be sending as like a monthly payment. So you got to think about the kind of people that I knew who were working in the services industry and sending money home. They were making probably about minimum wage, so $100 a month would be a pretty expensive transfer back to their family in another country. And then I also chose $500, similar, where this is kind of on the upper end of what I imagine people would be sending on a monthly basis. And so what are the fees for that large of a transfer? When the freelancer got the data back to me, I took a look at it and there were some clear patterns. First, there's this group of low-fee countries, and they're the kind of countries that you'd expect. A lot of them are European countries, Western, high development countries, and then there are some that you might not expect, like Latin American countries or some of the African countries. But what you can see here is that the fee is the same no matter how much you send. It's $3 if you send $20, $100, or $500. And that is, nice that there's a constant fee in some respects, but just think about that. If you want to send $20, if you wanted to send a birthday present to somebody in another country, you would have to pay a 15% tax on that transfer. If you wanted to send a small amount, that tax gets smaller and smaller the larger your transfer amount. But if you wanted to just send a small amount, that's going to be a huge fee on you. And that's what some people see Libra really doing, is on small scale transfers. If you wanted to do something as simple as a birthday present, you could get a really cheap transfer to somebody living in another country or even within your own country. The next group of countries I'll call the moderate fee countries. These are countries where you have to pay higher fees than the ones that in that low standard flat rate group. And so here in these countries, you're seeing to send $20, you have to pay $5. That's a 25% fee, 25% tax on sending that small amount of money. And that fee increases as you go up. So for some of these, for sending $500, you have to pay a $13 fee. Now that's still not a 25% fee, so it's nice that it's not increasing proportionately, but that's still a pretty big fee when you don't have that much money to spare. The kind of people who are sending money to family members usually are not the kind of people who have a lot of money to spare. And so it's important that we get those fees as small as possible, and that's why Libra is hopefully gonna come through and help people get rid of those fees. The last group of countries are the high fee countries. When you send $20 to one of these countries, you're still only paying that $5 fee, which is still 25% of your transfer. But then as you get up, your fee gets much higher. So if you're sending $500, it's a $21 fee to some of these countries. Included in this list is Liberia. Now, Liberia is one of those countries I mentioned in my previous video where the citizens probably are going to want Libra, not just because of the cool branding opportunity, but because it's a country that has higher inflation and they have a high reliance on remittances. And so since so much of their economy depends on remittances, then we could see that getting rid of that tax could have a huge economic boost to Liberia and really to a lot of these countries. I'm sure a lot of them have pretty high reliance on remittances as well. Those are the three groups of countries, but there's one country that stood out in particular, and that's Lesotho. It has a huge fee for sending any type of money. So to get out just that $20, you're paying $8 in fees, right? That is humongous. And then to send $500, you're paying $56. That's over 10% tax on $500 to just get money to your family. That's insane. So if these fees are usually what they're like, I'm not sure if this is just persistent, what's going on with this country, because it's a clear outlier. Like no other country is like Lesotho. If that's the case, if they're always facing these high remittance costs, I could easily see Lesotho joining that list of countries where the citizens are eager to adopt Libra. These exercises that I'm going through are really helping me put Libra in perspective. I think here in the US, we just have this really distorted perspective where we think so much about Facebook and about our own currencies. We're not thinking about the global issues of who is going to want this cryptocurrency. I'm gonna be doing more research on Libra and especially into what's gonna drive adoption. So if you have ideas on what I should look at or where I should look, put a comment below and also subscribe so that way you can be updated on the videos that I'm doing with economics and Libra. I really hope to see you on the next video.